what was the population average?
3.3.
3.92 letters per word. What is this one?
4.
For what?
0.
For what?
Point.
For what?
Point.
Letters per word. There's a context. We gotta pay attention to that context, right? Is that closer to 3.92 than 5.3?
Yeah.
Yes, right? That's what we want to recognize, is that we're reducing the bias and we're getting closer to the population average. Alright? This is a point where you now need to take some notes.
In our book.
Nope. In 3.2. Okay? I passed it back.
I know I'm saying we didn't do it.
You didn't write stuff where you're supposed to, but yes, we already answered 1 and 2, and we did 3, but we just did it on the calculator. Yeah. Okay? And we did it on the whiteboard. But here, number 5. Make sure you sketch the graphs from numbers 3 and 4 above. How is the dot plot from number 4 different than the dot plot for number 3? How are they different from each other?
Because you got different
After
averages.
number 1, I mean number 3. Like
And you can still see it over there. Yep, the first one what?
It was too big,
So the average word lengths were consistently above the population mean, right? So the dot plot from number 3, and remember that's when it wasn't random. Dot plot from number 3 was, what is it called when we consistently misrepresent the population?
Selection bias.
Close.
Bias?
Just bias. Notice I didn't ask when we missed elements from the population. I just said, what is it called when we consistently misrepresent the population? That is bias, right? The dot plot from number 3 was, let's say it this way, had biased data. Right? And then what was the type of bias that was at play?
Selection.
Selection bias. We consistently selected words that were too large, resulting in selection bias. Right? The dot plot for number 3 had biased data. We consistently selected words that were too large, resulting in selection bias. So how did we address that issue with the dot plot in number 4?
random.
Okay? So we reduced the effects of bias by randomly selecting 5 words for the data in number 4. Now, a bunch of us tried to just randomly pick words. Were you able to just randomly pick words? No, that's what messed us up originally. What did you have to do to truly randomly select 5 words?
That thing on the calculator.
What thing on the calculator?
I forgot how we did it.
So we did a random integer minimum to maximum. That's known as a random number generator. Used a random number generator to select 5 random words, or 5 random numbers, and found the associated words. Okay? The dot plot from number 3, the one that wasn't random, had bias data. We consistently selected words that were too large, resulting in selection bias. We reduced the effects of bias by randomly selecting 5 words. In general, you need to randomly select with observational studies.
All is 1 to 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I ran out of room. Okay, cool. You can write this under number 4 if you want. And so the data doesn't lie. When we looked at the dot plot, it was more scattered right around the population average when we randomly selected. When we had random selection, we were super close to the population average word length. When we did not have random selection, we were significantly further away.
Miss, can you spell generator wrong?
What?
Spell generate.
Generator wrong.
Number generate.
Use a random number generator.
I'll go ahead and pee it.
My bad.
Yep, my bad.
Thank you for catching that.
You will. Yeah. What happened? I called it. I just didn't say that.
No, you didn't, 'cause you still wrote the wrong word.
It was out. It was out.
So, once again, if you have an observational study, what do you need?
Random number.
You need random
No.
samples.
Now,
And usually what are we gonna use to get those random samples?
Numbers.
no.
Random number generators. In some shape, form, fashion, stuff like that, okay? At this point, volume 2 of your textbook needs to be out on your desk.
I ain't gonna count. I don't know. None zero down.
Yes, we are gonna come back to 3.2. So keep 3.2 out. You have no clue what you just wrote down? Should've stayed awake on Friday.
And Thursday.
And Thursday, you are correct.
What page return to typical?
But ask questions too. Alright, we're gonna come back to 3.2. For those of y'all who are a little lost, the textbook's gonna help you with this. Okay? So this is M5-68. Read and then answer the 2 questions that are there. Work with each other to answer the 2 questions. M5-68.
I got M3. Oh.
M5-68.
Oh, the next one.
Yep. It is activity 1.1. You should finish that entire page. Should not take more than 10 minutes total.
It's so hard not to see this.
What? You need that to do the homework, so you better do that. It's your textbook to learn from. You will take, no, we'll not do every page. Alright, so, hey, we should be reading for the portion at the top and then working on the 2 questions below it. Remember, I'll be listening in on your conversations. I will be assessing your active collaboration with each other.
He said read together.
What are you complaining about?
Like going to summer, ain't to no
Read silently and then talk about answering the
Partying
question.
all weekend with the guys, man. I need fun for straight.
Jake. Work.
I'm tired of your attitude. You guys are talking.
Sounds like we feel the same way about each other.
No, I don't
Get to
have
work.
attitude anymore. It
Get to
just
work.
seems
Get to work.
being clothes that you wearing, that little t-shirt you got.
Okay. M5-68. Yeah, volume 2, M5-68.
You got it,